This is a live preview of the Rapid Reports action point generator. I'll give an overview and demonstration of how it works. The workflow is to enter student information, write some action points, and then assign action points to each student. We start on the Reference tab here, where we put the list of student names down here, and then we select whether our student is a he or a she using the drop down menu. You can use the mouse here to select, or you can hit the spacebar and change it. Start typing H for he, S for she, hit enter. So you've got lots of ways. So if you prefer to use the keyboard, then you can use the keyboard as well. You can also fill downwards. If you had a whole bunch of he's, you can fill those all down as well. So it's pretty quick to use. These grey cells automatically update, so we only work on the ones which are blue. You can see that you can customize these if you wanted to change these, but for most people this selection of pronouns will be perfect. Down the bottom is where you would change the corresponding male and female pronouns. A new addition is to be able to select whether your student is vocational or academic. With the increasing popularity of BTEC courses, that should prove useful. The forename is where we need to put the student forename, which will be used in the comments. You notice that if I have two Joes, for example, Joe B and Joe S, I need to make this list of names unique here. So I've used the initial. If you had students who had the same forename and same initial, you could put their full surname in there. This must be unique. But here, these can be the same, and this is what gets used in the comments. There is space for additional information that can be included in your comments if you like attendance and punctuality, predicted grade, homework and test grades, but that's optional. Okay, so once all of the student information is in there, if you're working from other spreadsheets, it's easy to copy and paste this information in and then make these selections in these two columns. So that should be fairly quick and easy to do. Once that's done, we go over to the action point definer. You'll notice there's two tabs. One is action point definer vocational and one is academic. Over here we list the issues that we want to make action points for. So for example, if I believe a student to be doing excellent work, I might write excellent work over here, and then I write 3 corresponding action points for that. Now these are different ways of saying the same thing. So I define those action points. I can define up to 5. I've only defined 3 action points for each of these. Define the same number for each issue that you have. So let's look at the attendance one. Lack of attendance is an issue for name. Before he can make any significant progress on the course, he'll have to attend all lessons. Name needs to attend all lessons. At present he's not doing so, etc. So they're the same issue, but just phrased slightly differently. So we define the action points. If I wanted to define extra action points, then I'd write in AP4 here and then write down another variant on these action points. So how do we write these so that the information that we've defined over here, like their pronouns and their name, goes into the comment when we choose the action point and assign it to a student over here? You can see these terms which are in square brackets. So for example, name. The system knows to look for, where it sees a name, to look for the forename here. So in this case, it's looking for name in square brackets, but it will look over here in this column for their forename, just because this is that unique list of names. The pronouns are more straightforward. Square brackets, lowercase he, it knows to look for the correct pronoun in this column. Another one would be up here, his, or uppercase he. Then whatever it sees in here, it will put into the comment. So wherever you want the pronoun to go, or the name, use square brackets. If you look at the academic ones, it's also possible to put in the tests. So you can change these terms here and use those. So ind test for induction test, wherever it sees that, it will put in the test grade there. So that's how you would define an action point. This tells me how many action points I'm using here, so don't change that, that automatically calculates how many action points you use. Use the same number of action points for vocational and academic, as in the number of variants you have. It doesn't matter how many you have going down. You can define up to 26 action points for academic and up to 26 for vocational. Every time you come to do a round of action points for students, you can slightly tweak your comments or add in a new issue. So I've got a number defined already, but you could add in more to make your action points more specific, more applicable to your students. So every time you do reports, you could spend a little more time making your comments even better. And this database remains, and you can always tweak your existing comments as well. The last stage is to choose action points for your students. That happens on Action Point Chooser tab here, and this is what it looks like. So our list of students is listed along the left, and we have this blue column here. This is where we will choose the action point for our student. If I hit the spacebar here, you can see that I'm getting my list of vocational comments here. So Joe blogs, he's missed a few deadlines for me. You can assign those. Bob, however, he's not one of my vocational students, so he gets the list of comments that apply to academic students. So you see that's the list that's being provided. That's where the vocational academic drop down for the student comes in. It gives you the list of comments specific to academic and vocational students. You can see this one is inserting some homework and test grades here. So vocational academic sorted out there, and this is the action point. You can see it's inserted the student's name and the correct pronouns here, as has it in the cell below as well. So we've got the student name and correct pronouns, correct grades if applicable. The last aspect to this page is this list here of variants. So if I give Joe blogs here, if I think he's doing excellent work, he's doing excellent work. So is Mary. They're both vocational students. You'll notice that the system has automatically chosen action point 1 for excellent work for Joe, and it's also chosen action point 2 for Mary. So they have the same issue, but it's given them a different action point. And I have 3 action points, so the next student gets action point 3, and after that, Elizabeth here, she's also a vocational student with the same issue, that she's doing excellent work, she goes back to action point 1 because that's 4 students with the same issue, but I only need to find 3. So it goes back and then it will start cycling through them again. That's just to give a little more variation to your commenting, and that's why on these pages we defined 3 different comments for the same issue. The more you have, then the more variation you get in your comments, and those are automatically selected. You don't have to do anything to tell it to do that. You may, however, decide that actually I would like Edward to have the comment for action point 2. Perhaps the way that it's phrased is a little more applicable to Edward, so you can override it by selecting action point 2. Now Edward has action point 2 for excellent work, and you can see that it's the same as Mary's up here. I could also give him action point 1. Whichever you like to do, you can override it if you like. If I want to clear that, you can hit delete or just choose the blank. So whichever method you prefer. Yeah. Once you have done that for all of your students, it's quite fast to work through on the keyboard. Just hit spacebar. You see they're all listed by letters of the alphabet, so you could, if you knew what the letter was, you could hit the letter and it would come up as an option. Once you've done that, you just copy this into your reporting software that your institution uses. If you want to keep a backup of this, you can do that as well. We can add a new sheet here. We can then select these columns here and copy those. Jump over here. Best way to do this is to paste special by right clicking, then paste values, then right click again, paste special, paste format. There we go. It's important, if you just click paste, then it will paste the formula instead of the comment, and that means whenever you change anything over here, it will automatically update here. By doing it this way, you're actually keeping a backup of the comment, and then you could name that comments January 2015, for example, and then you could copy those into your reports software if there's a problem and you need to go back and put them in again, or just for your peace of mind, you've got a comment there, you've got the backup there. You can export that to Excel as well if you like. That's all there is to it.